All right, ready to roll here on a Saturday morning. Thanks to our friends at Insperity. Visit Insperity.com for a powerful HR solution with exceptional fall through. Always inspiring to see how Insperity is really bettering businesses so communities and your area can prosper around you. You've got some DP World Tour action going on in the Swiss Alps. You have the Walker Cup at Cypress Point and the Ladies Aramco Houston event at Golf Crest next week. And then in less than a month, you have the Ryder Cup at Bethpage Black coming off a historic PGA Tour season. Charlie, great to be with you this morning.
Thank you, Will. How is New York?
It's doing well. Yeah, I'm up here. I'm up here for the third round of the U.S. Open, watching a little tennis. Gonna watch some tennis tonight. There at Louis Armstrong. It is it the match the match I'm seeing tonight. It's not Paul and Bublik. It is Zverev and Auger Alamisme. So the German versus the Canadian. It should be a good match. The U.S. Open has been good so far with the tennis, Charlie. You did have American Ben Shelton go down with injury. Uh, let's see, Tiafo, the other American, lost. There's only one American left in Taylor Fritz. And Charlie, as you know, in tennis, an American has not won a major championship since 2002. I mean, how about that? That's a long time.
That's unbelievable, and I miss Jimmy Connors and
Yeah.
those guys. They had the personalities, and they'd go crazy every now and then. But anyways, but it's also Ryder Cup month. Every 2 years, we have a competition at match play between the United States, Great Britain, and Ireland, and the rest of Europe. It's become a Super Bowl of sport. Everybody in sport knows about the Ryder Cup, and the football players, the baseball players, even Kelsey, who's just getting engaged to somebody named Swift.
How about that, Charlie? How about that? Did you watch the Nebraska Cincinnati college football game there at Arrowhead?
Yeah, I caught a little of that.
Yeah, that was okay. The Nebraska's QB, he kind of looks a little bit like Mahomes, but yeah, we saw earlier this week Travis Kelsey and Taylor Swift engaged.
That,
So we'll see.
that's it.
Now, Charlie, talking about the Ryder Cup,
Yes.
what a month here in New York. I mean, you go from the U.S. Open, to the Ryder Cup at Bethpage. You were at the U.S. Open in 2009 when Lucas Glover, won. Uh, this course, I mean, what do fans have to look forward to in the black course at Bethpage?
Yes, it is. It's a marvelous golf course. It's a daily fee golf course that anybody can play if they want to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning and get a tee time. But yes, it's all the golf course that you want, and I think it's going to be a great competition between the two teams. But and I'm going to go out on a limb. I think America has too much firepower uh, for them, and we're going to put them in their place finally after so
Well,
many years.
we heard from Jim Nance earlier this week, Charlie.
Yes.
You and me were interviewing Jim Nance, and our listeners will hear that at the 32-minute mark. But he went out on a limb to say that he thinks Keegan Bradley is not only going to do a great job this time around at Bethpage, but he's going to do so well that he's going to earn himself another year of captaining for the Americans. And what were your thoughts on that take? And do you like Bradley as much as Jim does?
I do. I do. I think Bradley has shown a lot of internal fortitude over the last year with the temptations of being a Ryder Cup captain and a member of the team, but common sense and all he wants to do is win, and he knows he can do a better job as the captain rather than putting himself as a player too. So my hats off to Jim. I think it was a great prediction, and we're going to see every hole of it.
Keegan announced this week that his six captains picks would be Justin Thomas, Colin Morikawa, Sam Burns, Cameron Young, Patrick Cantlay, and Ben Griffin. By all means, Bradley did a great job assembling this team. It wasn't easy. You did have Maverick McNeely and Brian Harmon there at 10 and 12 on the points. He went with the better putters at the moment in Sam Burns and Cameron Young. And Charlie, I think the biggest shock uh, was the fact that Keegan did not pick himself. Many people believe that he picked a bit of a struggling Colin Morikawa over himself, considering Keegan won the Travelers no less than a month ago. But Morikawa, he is a two-time major champion. I think Keegan believes that in a month's time, Morikawa's short game issues will be fixed, and they will be on their way to victory. What did you think of that specific pick, Charlie?
Well,
Keegan not playing, it's something you called.
I just think it was common sense. He signed on to be the captain of a team that's really incredible experience. I remember when Dave Marr uh, was chosen captain, and it was almost like a religious experience, and it was so fulfilling for him as a PGA captain, as a champion of the PGA Championship, and then an announcer, and he did a marvelous job. But he did have one of the best teams America's ever had. So I think Jim, he'd be looking down at everybody, or Dave, excuse me,
Yeah.
and it's going to be a marvelous competition, because we're going to get to see the obnoxious New York fan, and they're going to be on our side. I mean, every time I've gone to a football game, and those people are crazy up there, so they're going to help us win.
They're out of control. They're out of control, Charlie. Casper Rudd, one of the tennis pros that's
Yes.
playing in the U.S. Open this week, he goes, I really can't stand coming to New York because all the stadiums, the whole city, it smells like marijuana. Everyone's drinking too much. It is part of the city, but I will say one thing. I love how sports breeze through this city, whether it be, I mean, obviously we hate the Yankees being in Houston, but, those fans are passionate. The Mets, the Giants, Jets, they love their tennis, they love their golf. Very passionate about their sports, and you have to respect that. Charlie, one other thing Jim said was, and I'll move on from Keegan after this, but he really mentioned that everyone was talking about how Arnold Palmer was the last playing captain, but he talked about how much responsibilities as a captain have changed over the last 60 years, and how it's just not possible. I think you've already said that multiple times, and you called Keegan's move, here about 2 months ago. So great work there. As far as Luke Donald's European team, Charlie, how about Tommy Fleetwood getting the job done last
Oh,
week?
that was a win for the ages. We're all rooting for a guy like Tommy, who's, you know, came out of England, and talked funny, and but he could hit a golf ball. It drives me crazy. His hairdo. I don't like his hairdo. I don't think
It's a little long for you, Charlie.
it's a little long. I don't think Hogan would appreciate that. But having said that, he showed a lot of class in that last round, standing up to all his contemporaries, and putting together a winning day for himself and his caddy and his family, and I think it's just marvelous. And you gotta root for great golf, whether it's from across the sea or it's here in the United States, and he played some great golf.
Yeah, no, he did. Won by three over Russell Henley and Patrick Cantlay, two American Ryder Cuppers. Fleetwood, he finally got the job done in his 164th win. Charlie, when you watch him, and it kind of looks like he works a little bit of a three-quarter backswing and finish. Is that something you would teach?
Sure, sure. If a person can do it, I mean, you got to have some different talents. But he's able to generate a lot of speed that way. There was a guy named Doug Sanders who had even a shorter swing. He could play inside of a garage, and with the way he took the club back. But he Fleetwood has, he's won a lot of tournaments worldwide. So your iron swing, especially, a 3/4 iron swing is enough to create the distance that you need to hit a 7 iron. Or you don't want to swing your 7 iron like you do your driver. You got to have an iron swing, and you got to have a metalwood swing, if you would. So I would encourage all the amateurs to tape the swings and look out how efficient their wedge swings are. And if you can hit if you hit 80% of your wedges on the green, your handicap's going to be single digit.
As far as what's going on at the European Masters there in the Swiss Alps, Adrian Sadier, he leads by 1 at 13 under. Matt Wallace is in solo second at 12 under. He's a PGA Tour winner, and he's just going to miss the European Ryder Cup team. Luke Donald won't finalize his last six until after the European Masters tomorrow, but his final six look set. Other star players you have up on top of that leaderboard going into the weekend. Matt Fitzpatrick is at 8 under, only a few back of Sadier. Definitely contention with 2 rounds to play. Sami Valimaki is at 7 under and a tie for 10th. So a ton of good golf going on there as far as uh, the action in Switzerland at the European Masters, which is on Golf Channel now. Before we go to break, we have a quick word from our friends at the Texas Golf Hall of Fame.
Mike Booker, chairman of the Texas Golf Hall of Fame and holder of a record number of Texas Golf Association championships.
The Texas Golf Hall of Fame is the foundation of golf in our great state. So many great individuals: Ben Hogan, Byron Nelson, Kathy Whitworth, Ben Crenshaw, Babe Zaharias, Tom Kite, and many more lead the way in making golf in Texas known around the world. Learn about the historic golf courses and the individuals that promoted the game through leadership, teaching, and passion. Texas and golf go hand in hand in the history of the game and camaraderie. Together we can honor the past, celebrate the present, and inspire future generations of Texas golfers. Golf is a sport for everyone, and I encourage you to experience the history of Texas golf digitally at texasgolfhof.org and share with your golf family and friends. That's texasgolfhof.org. See you on the course.
You're listening to the Charlie Epps Golf Hour on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5.
Powered by Insperity.
From the Veritex Community Bank Studios, here's Will Doctor and the Golf Doctor himself, Charlie Epps.
Charlie, Tiger Woods did not make a PGA Tour start during the 2025 season after rupturing his Achilles in March. But with his 50th birthday coming up in December, the 82-time PGA Tour winner will be eligible for PGA Tour champions in 2026. And your friend Ernie Els was asked about Woods earlier this week at a groundbreaking opening to recreation complex in Jupiter, the Els Center for Excellence. And here's what Ernie said. "Please come play, Tiger. I think it can only be beneficial to him. He will get himself in shape. You can ride a cart without any shame. And if there was one guy that should be able to drive a cart, it's him. And he can get his ass back in shape." Close quote.
That's great. That's great. That's Ernie and the guys are going to welcome Tiger back, and because of what they did when he was younger, and then they enjoyed his company. And Tiger has grown in many different ways, other than just a golfer. He's involved with his foundation. He's doing everything his dad said that he was going to do, and so I hope he plays a little Champions golf. The golfers of yesteryear will enjoy watching him, and it'll help senior golf. And I can't wait till he comes to Houston to play in the Insperity Championship, hopefully.
Yeah, absolutely, Charlie. You think he will absolutely not have a problem in riding a cart? That won't be. You think he'll take up that opportunity?
I don't see why not. I mean,
Yeah.
it's an exhibition. He's proven he can win every tournament in the world. So now he's going to just come on out and enjoy the atmosphere that these Champion Tour events provide, what they do for the community. They raise a lot of money, and he can be part of that. So I think he'll do a wonderful job for both sides of the coin, for playing and being an ambassador for Insperity. We're really excited him joining the team, and that will only help everybody that's involved in Insperity's business.
Helping businesses grow so communities can prosper. That's what Tiger's going to help Insperity do, Charlie, in a big way. Not only in communities, but on the golf course. They're going to be part of the Genesis Invitational, and it's a big now. Hopefully Tiger will go to the Insperity Invitational. I'm sure if he's healthy enough, with him being an ambassador, that means we're going to see him in the Woodlands once a year. Charlie, my question, back in the day when Jack Nicklaus and Gary Player, Arnold Palmer, when they were playing the Champions Tour, the Champions Tour had a primetime spot on ESPN, and now that Tiger has done a deal with ESPN with the indoor TGL League, I wonder if that's in store. I wonder if the Champions Tour could return to primetime ESPN.
You never know, but when you got Tiger at the front, he draws a lot of people, and the ratings would go through the sky, So hopefully he does that for the sake of the game.
Here's David, Charlie. Been reading a lot this year about Lucas Glover and the success he's had with the broomstick putter. Do you think this is something I should try?
Well, if you can't putt with a short putter, you got to try the longer putter. It's some people do it really well. I've tried it, and I'm still trying to learn how to do it. But I think it's a good way to cure the yips for a lot of people, and sure, try it.
Yeah, it's not only worked for Glover. We were just talking about the Champions Tour. I mean, how good has Bernhard Langer been with the broomstick putter? Now, Charlie, just for listeners who maybe don't understand, maybe haven't used a broomstick putter, you can no longer anchor it on your sternum. Is that correct? It has to be off your chest?
Hello.
Hey, hey, Charlie.
Yes, sir.
Well, hey, sorry.
My uh,
You're,
microphone
you're,
fell out of my ear, so
no problem, no problem. What I said was we've seen Bernhard Longer, a legendary two-time Masters winner who has had a stellar career on the Champions Tour. He rolls a broomstick putter, and for the listener at home that might not know, you can't if you're going to use a broomstick putter, it can't be anchored on your sternum. Is that correct? It has to be
that's
off your
correct.
chest.
You
Okay.
can't anchor it.
Yeah. Got that. So yeah, broomstick putter. Obviously, if you're struggling with the shorter putter, Charlie, when you work with students, at what point when you're working on them with their putting, do you try to stick with the conventional way of doing it, conventional grip, conventional putter, and at what point do you start switching up the grips or the putter?
Well, it just depends on the person, and if you think he's going to practice or she's going to practice, then you can make some changes. A change is only good if you practice it probably 20 hours. In over a period of time, you can ingrain that into your vocabulary of putting strokes. So that practice is most important when you're trying to learn something new. So that's number one. And number two, then when they start having some success and you go through, the stance, the swing, and then you got alignment and so there's so many different things you have to do to learn how to use that long putter effectively, and most people give up too soon. And I would hang in there, commit 20 hours of practice and putting and playing with the longer putter before you make a decision one way or the other.
That's great stuff there, Charlie. Here's Ron. Charlie, 10 of the 12 U.S. Ryder Cup team members will play in Napa at the Procore Championship September 11th through the 14th. Keegan Bradley has been very adamant about all players being there. What kinds of things do you think they will do together when they're in the same city between now and the Ryder Cup?
Well, they'll have some good dinners, and they'll have some good time in the locker rooms, and they'll start, planning and who's going to play with whom, and how they're going to do the alternate shot. That's one of the keys to winning the Ryder Cup back. So they'll get together. They'll be happy. It'll be like college dorm room. Everybody's going to be happy and fun and celebrating golf, and they're being able to make the hardest team in the world, which is the Ryder Cup, to make.
Yeah. No, it's very impressive. Ryder Cup team members that are committed. It's all of them except Xander Schauffele and Bryson DeChambeau. Now, Keegan mentioned Bryson. He's on live, so apparently Bryson tried to get a request from Procore that would let him play alongside his Ryder Cup USA members, and that was declined, Charlie. But they say DeChambeau's still going to be in Napa that week, hanging out with his team. I don't have an update on Schauffele, but it seems like a very good time to get everyone together. I'm hoping to see some good play from Colin Morikawa there in Napa. I know he's been struggling, but six-time PGA Tour winner, 2020 PGA champion, won the 21 British Open as well. If he can really get clicking for Bethpage, it's really a complete team, and once again, you have 11 other members that are just playing some amazing golf. So, Charlie, when you have the one player who maybe is not playing as well, do you see captains kind of wait to use those players until the Sunday singles, or might they play once in the Friday four balls?
Well, I think a good captain is going to have the players play at least once before Sunday's competition. And because if they leave them on the bench, their confidence is not going to get better. So they got to play and they got to get the feel for the atmosphere. So I would really watch that closely. but he'll give everybody an opportunity to play.
Well done. You guys are going to hear from Jim Nance in just a second. It's an interview that Charlie and I did on Wednesday with Jim. We got the latest on CBS Golf, their record year. They had their best rating since 2018. We talked with Jim about the Ryder Cup and Keegan Bradley's captain's picks. And Jim gave us a great preview of the Houston Texans season. And Jim was in town doing the ribbon cutting for the Nance Leadership Society at the University of Houston. Opened up a new sports complex, opened up a new building, and Charlie, I know you were fascinated and really interested about how Jim now he's done everything, now becoming a teacher for the next generation.
And we're lucky that he's going to do that. But I've seen him grow up to be such a champion for everything, and more importantly, his father died of Alzheimer's, and he went right ahead and started his own Alzheimer's unit here in Houston, and he's done so much for a lot of people, and forget about all his sports activities. It's the human care that he does around our country is really quite interesting, and it's he's a winner from the day one.
And that's why great companies like Insperity trust Jim and yourself to speak for them, Charlie. And we have listeners that they need help running their business, and they're feeling the pressure. Remote workforces, HR compliance, keeping top employees happy. They're just starting to feel a little bit boxed in, Charlie. I know you have a recommendation for them.
It's just very simple. Insperity is a unique company that's motivated by helping small businesses. And like they say, if they can get small businesses to succeed and be prosperous, communities will prosper. And that's their motto, and they've stuck with it for the last, since 1986. And it's a company that it's one of the best companies in Houston, and once you get a job at Insperity, the employees want to stay there. So that tells you a lot about what Paul Servati and Steve Arispe and the gang put together, a company that is set up to help business succeed. So if you happen to have a small business and you want some help, log on to Insperity.com, give them a call, and I guarantee you, in a year you'll say, "Wait, I didn't know I could do this," and they breed success. So what a team they would make with you and your small business. Insperity is a company that I just so happy to be able to represent. They are the best of the best.
This is the Charlie Epps Golf Hour on ESPN Houston. Jim Nance is next.
Mike Booker, chairman of the Texas Golf Hall of Fame and holder of a record number of Texas Golf Association championships.
The Texas Golf Hall of Fame is the foundation of golf in our great state. So many great individuals, Ben Hogan, Byron Nelson, Kathy Whitworth, Ben Crenshaw, and many others, lead the way in making golf in Texas known around the world. Now you can experience the history of Texas golf digitally at texasgolfhof.org and share with your family and friends. See you on the course.
The Charlie Epps Golf Hour, powered by Insperity, continues
On ESPN 97.5 and 92.5.
from the Veritex Community Bank Studios. Here's Will Doctor and Charlie Epps.
All right, before we go to Jim Nantz, a quick word for the 2025 Aramco Houston Championship. How about that? Some of the best women golfers in the world will make their way to Pearland, Texas next week to Golf Crest Country Club. You'll have 104 professional golfers competing in a 26-team format over the first 2 days with an individual stroke play competition concluding the final day. It'll be a total prize fund of $2 million. This is run, Charlie, by the Ladies European Tour with a sponsorship from Aramco. Still need to get more information on how they got to Houston. We might be out there next week, and I'll be getting some stories from how this came together. And they've been doing the Aramco PIF Global Series for a couple years now with the ladies. I think this is the third or fourth year. They're gonna have Danielle Kang out there. They're gonna have Meja Ortegren, one of the promising Swedish golfers up and coming. Let's see, Allison Lee, who played in the Solheim Cup last year. She's going to be playing, and she gave birth earlier this year, so making a big.
Hello.
Welcome back to ESPN 97.5 Houston. We are thrilled to have the legendary Jim Nantz joining us alongside the golf doctor Charlie Epps. Jim is a proud University of Houston alum. He has deep ties to our city and is fresh off a banner year with golf on CBS. Thanks for being here, Jim. How are you this morning?
I am really well, Will. I'm excited to be on with you and Charlie, who is he's one of the biggest gurus of my life. So this is all good. And yes, I love this city of Houston. I love our university, and I'm stoked about the fall season rolling around. And this kind of starts it right now, this weekend. This is the beginning of a new year, new school year for some people, new kind of professional year every year. For me, we turn the page on Labor Day weekend, and I'm getting it started kind of figuratively right here with this interview. So let's do it.
And you were in Houston the last 24 hours. Can you tell us more about the launching of the Nantz Leadership Society and your honor and what that means to have your alma mater recognize your legacy in this way, and how do you hope it inspires the next generation of Cougars?
Well, and I've had the great fortune of being around a lot of major university athletic programs after 40 years at CBS. 40 years ago today, actually, is the day I got hired. So I've seen how it works. To be successful, everybody has to be all in. You have to have an active and an alumni base that's participating and giving and wanting their fingerprints on the success. And we've been fortunate. A lot of it was really kindled or rekindled through Kelvin Sampson and our basketball program. And Renu Couture, who's been there for, I think, 16 years as our school president, has done remarkable things. We have a medical school. I mean, it's academically, we are in a place we've never been before. And athletically now in the Big 12, it's a great time to be a Cougar, and we're a rocket ship. And we had this week a gathering of those who have gotten engaged in this, they called it the Nantz Leadership Society. There are not many societies that would let me in. So this was a real honor to try to get recent graduates, older graduates to commit 3, 4, 5-year pledges to help support their university. And the program really began just not that long ago, earlier this spring. And we have almost 500 people who have made pledges and commitments, and it's adding up well into the millions, and makes me very proud. because I see the name on it. It's not my name, it's the family name. And I think back to my loving mom and dad, who Charlie knew really well, and how proud they were of the university that serves our community so well. And my sister, who loves the Cougars, and I'm just really proud to be associated with the school in a deeper fashion.
Well done there, Jim. And you mentioned this is going to be your 40th year with CBS.
Well, it's actually it's funny, anniversaries and years are two different things. I've figured this out through the years. So I'm actually, I guess today begin my 41st year, because this is my 40-year anniversary. It definitely is my 41st fall and autumn of being around football at CBS. And next week, Tony Romo, Tracy Wolfson, and I will be at Lambeau Field for the Detroit Lions Green Bay Packers season opener, and got a fabulous schedule of games. Hopefully that'll involve some Texans games during our 21-week journey. And yeah, it's been a blur. It's gone so quickly. You know, I was a kid with a dream over there on campus at Houston, and I met your running mate here, Mr. Epps, when I was really young and in school. And Charlie was so generous with his time to me and my band of brothers from the Houston golf team. He took us under his wing, tutored us, mentored us, and made us realize our dreams can come true. And Charlie knew that my ability in golf, that's not what he honed in on. That wasn't my passion anyway. My passion and drive was to work for CBS Sports one day, specifically CBS. And Charlie was one of that small group of family and very dear friends who made me believe that could happen. And here we are now on the 40-year anniversary, and I get to talk to Charlie fittingly on this day.
Jim, you know, the success that you have brought to yourself was just hard work, and you mentioned your mom and dad, and they were such great people, and they nurtured you and your sister, and then your dad, you know, didn't have the ending he wanted, but now your help for Alzheimer is big in the medical center in Houston. That's an incredible accomplishment, Jim.
Well, I feel like it's my, I don't evaluate like what are achievements. I don't sit back and think about, oh, didn't I do that well? That's not for me to say. But I guess the thing I would say I'm the most proud of in my career is that I had the platform to be able to create, in concert with Houston Methodist, the Nance National Alzheimer's Center. It's maybe number one in the world clinical care and research institute that might be leading the world when it comes to research and fighting this insidious disease. My father succumbed to Alzheimer's, and it gave me really locked me in on finding my purpose and finding something that I wanted to take on. And I wanted to try to defeat the opponent that defeated my dad. And we've been open for 14 years. Where I think that when it comes to trial efforts, right now I got 21 current trials ongoing at the Nance Center. We host worldwide neurologists and scientists in Houston every year. They come to Houston because they believe what we're doing at the NNAC at Houston Methodist is maybe the best in the world. And it's collaborative with these scientists from all over and researchers. And we collaborate with UCSF out in California and Mass General and some of these other places that are doing great things when it comes to Alzheimer's research. And I'll just say this, and we get back to sports, but the world of Alzheimer's research has finally in the last 2 years been on a great run and taken an otherwise before dark world with no hope, has found avenues to get in and moving in on finding great treatments and ultimately a cure. I'm not here to proclaim a cure date, but there are treatments and preventative measures that weren't available 2 years ago. It's exciting. I really believe that we're on the brink of we've already had breakthroughs. All you got to do is Google search and you'll find these lecanemabs and donanemabs and these therapeutics that are out there that have been FDA approved. And we were on the front lines of that research and trialing. But it's exciting. I'm really proud of the team over there at the Nance Center at Methodist. They're aggressive, they're cutting edge, And they are, I believe, the best in the world, as we should be proud of. Everything's come out, and you mentioned that, Charlie, out of our medical center. The Texas Medical Center is best in the world. And it needed to have the best Alzheimer's Research Institute in the world. And I believe we do. And it bears my father's name.
Incredible. Speechless. It's speechless.
Charlie.
It's something that college kids shouldn't do, and you've done it all, and you've been the forefront of so many different things. And congratulations, and keep up the good work, my friend.
Thank you, Charlie. I'm inspired by you. You motivated and inspired me long ago, longer than 40 years ago. 40 years, I would have been 26 years old. I've known Charlie since I was 19 or 20 years old. And man, it's gone fast, as you know, all of you know. It's a blur, but most of it leads back. My story, my journey all leads back to this city, and makes me proud to, even though I don't live here, it makes me proud. I still consider myself a Houstonian. I do have family.
You live here, my friend. You never forget us. You're always, on your telecast, and now with what's happening in the medical center, and now your new endeavor, organizing and teaching young kids like this guy we got interviewing you, Will Doctor. How about this guy? He's following in your footsteps.
Proud of you, Will.
I'm sure trying, Jim, and I only aspire to honor my mom and dad, and of course Charlie, in the way you are right now. So I thank you for that and all the help you're doing in the Houston Medical Center. I do have 3 more questions for you. I know
Sure.
know you're on a schedule here, but golf on CBS just had its best rating season since 2018. What drove the surge?
There's a lot of funny things that go into this, so I don't want to take credit away from our great production team, because they are the best in the world, and they're filmmakers. I think the way they present the golf is cinematic. It has a feel and a vibe when people turn it on. I think they get lured into it and lost in it. And I'm really proud of men like Sellers Shy and Steve Milton and our announce team that I'm so lucky to work with. But I'll have other factors that come in, just to be objective about it. Rain delays can be the curse of a network, and that gets factored in as a rating when you might not have a tournament that finishes until Monday, and you got 3 hours of rain coverage on a Sunday. We didn't have that this year. We're usually good for 2 of those a year. You have the right winners, and you have the contenders that people want to watch. We had Rory winning at Pebble Beach. We had Rory winning that epic Masters. We had Scotty winning in Dallas and winning in Augusta and winning at Jack's event. And again, I'm not trying to minimize what our great team, led by that production team, accomplished this year, but there are a lot of factors that go into it. We had the storylines, and the people that were the actors in our play were the actors that people want to watch. And on top of it, I think golf's hot. The game is so interesting. We've got now 5 years to look back on COVID, and it's still, somebody sent me some pictures the other day of the Final Four in 2020, and I was interviewing Scott Drew, presenting him the championship trophy, and there I was with a mask on my face. I hadn't seen a picture with but I did games and golf tournaments and went through airports. We all did, wearing a mask. And now you look at it, it looks so bizarre. Gosh, we lived through that for months, for a year. Well, during that crazy time where we all had to reroute our lives and figure out new ways to accomplish normalcy, golf became an avenue for people to get together outdoors. People got introduced to the game. People fell in love with the sport all over again, and it's never stopped. I mean, it is growing. It is growing, and people were always trying to figure out, how do you get more people interested in golf? How do you seed it? Take junior golf and the first tee, and I've just taken on a new role with the first tee on the national level, and I'm excited about that. And the kids are turning out in droves. Last year, first tee served 3.1 million American teens and youth. 3.1. It's basically 1% of our population. That is a massive success story. going into the schools, not trying to necessarily build the next great golf champion. We're introducing them to the game, but as this sport does, it introduces people to life lessons. And we're reaching kids to be able to make them champions in life. They don't have to be the next Tiger Woods, but they might be able to go on from their experience. They will go on from their experience at first tee and be able to be a champion for life, to be able to live a life and know about working together, collaboration, integrity, effort. There are many life skills, as you know, that come out of that. Well, golf has just clicked. It came out of COVID as the sport that gained the most. Not that that was the initiative, but COVID ended up building the base up, and it hasn't let go. And I'm excited that golf is in such a rich and great place right now.
You can see it all over the country. We saw Cobb's Creek in Philadelphia the Monday of the Truist Championship, and it's amazing how the TGR Foundation and the First Tee have come in there and brought the love back to golf in inner city Philadelphia. I want to ask you about the topic of the Ryder Cup, Jim. Keegan Bradley's decision not to pick himself as a playing captain for the Ryder Cup has sparked some conversation over the last 24 hours. You were, of course, on his call at the Travelers Championship there at the end of June. What were your thoughts on his choice to focus solely on leading the team?
And it didn't surprise me one bit. And there were so many stories that were out there written about it. And to me, I never bought into the idea that he was going to be a playing captain. I never believed it. And of course, he never put an end to that discussion, which I think was the right thing to do. But I never believed for a minute that he was going to take on that responsibility. I had a lot of people, including some of my fellow announcers, who still believed that he was going to pick himself. But, you know, this opportunity to be a captain, and he's a unique choice, by the way. I love this choice of Keegan Bradley. He's 38 years old when he got anointed as the next U.S. captain. And, I mean, it was out of the blue. He had no idea he was even in the running. And Keegan's a smart guy, and he's got leadership qualities. And I'm going to make a crazy prediction because I know that we have him lined up behind him as who should be the next captain. And it was like, you don't really see over here in the U.S. that often repeat selections. Davis Love was. Players love Davis Love. Davis got 2 swings at it. I think Keegan's going to be more than a one-time Ryder Cup captain. I think he's going to run this to a level that's going to be the admiration of all the golfers. He's young enough. I believe he'll be successful, and I believe that he's going to get another swing at this. And I admire him. This was the right decision. I really believe it. He got a lot of the comparisons. Well, Arnold Palmer did it. Arnold was the last playing captain. Well, that was 60 years ago. And Keegan's been quoted as saying, I wish Arnie was around so I could talk to him about it. But even he admitted at his press conference this week that it's not the same event that it used to be. The exposure, the responsibility, it's just one of the biggest events in American sport. And he made 6 good choices. This was not profound, the picks that he made. But I was talking to Trevor Immelman, my great teammate and 18th hole partner, about who would be the 6 picks. And he and I both agreed they would be exactly the 6 that he chose. I think he picked the right team. I think he's got the right team. I think Europe's very strong. And I look forward to watching it here in a month's time when I'm not working on a football game that weekend.
One point about this great captain we have, his dad was a golf professional, but Keegan's not afraid to use the word win. He wants to win at all costs, and that was the first captain that really emphasized winning. The other ones, never talked about it that I can recall, Jim. So he's got the right mission, and it's a great his aunt Pat Bradley, one of the great lady golfers of all time. He learned a lot from her. So it's going to be an interesting Ryder Cup.
He's got the pedigree with his dad, Mark, Aunt Pat. just he's been his whole life in the golf universe, seen it from the best, Hall of Famer in the family, in Pat. And there's just a vibe around him. There's a sincerity and honesty. And I like now that he's going to be able to spend this next month now not competing against guys that are going to be playing for him, but now to lead them. And he got the team together for the first time back in May, the week that you referenced, Will. The Truist was up at Philly Cricket Club. We were there for that tournament, and he took prospective team members to dinner on Friday night at a place called White Marsh Valley, and they sat around. And I know all these guys, and I hear the scuttlebutt on the range and around the locker room, hotel lobbies. They're going to love playing for him. They're excited about it. They like everything about the way that he communicates with them all throughout. And now that we've cleared up this question of is he going to play and captain, he can now move forward and just be a great leader.
Last question for you, Jim. The Houston Texans, they're coming off a strong season, chasing a third straight AFC South title. You've called plenty of their games for CBS. What's the factor you think will determine whether they can take the next step and contend for a Super Bowl?
I just think it boils down to one thing. I love their defense and Will Anderson and all of that. CJ's amazing. Well, health, every team can say that, can we stay healthy? But I think that offensive line is going to be the key. I had them one time last year. Tony and I, Romo and I had them at Green Bay. And I can't really recall any quarterback that was ever more under attack in a game than CJ was that day at Lambeau Field. I think he threw for 88 yards. He never had 2 seconds to throw. They did not protect him. Give him a little time. I think he's going to look more like the quarterback from 2 years ago. He's a talent. He's a smart guy. I like his leadership ability. And I think they're going to have a very good season. They're a sneaky pick right now. They're in a division that is not the strongest, but it's going to be soon. I happen to have a home in Nashville, Tennessee, and they drafted first with Cam Ward. He's going to be good. And I like their coach going into second year, Brian Callahan. And then you got Jacksonville has Liam Cohen, a new coach. And I know a lot of people are ready to give up on Trevor Lawrence. That's way too early. They're going to be good. They're going to be on the rise. And then Indianapolis, not scaring anybody at first glance. They've got Daniel Jones as their starter, but I think those other three teams in that division are all going to be better. And I think the Texans are going to be better. But this is not the NFC North, which is Detroit, Green Bay, Minnesota, Chicago. Good luck coming out of that division. This is not the AFC North with Baltimore, might be the AFC champion when it's all worked out. Cincinnati, Pittsburgh with Aaron Rodgers, Mike Tomlin, who I deeply admire. They're all going to be good. Cleveland, who knows? But they got three really premier teams there. This division for the Texans, go win all 6 of your division games. That's a lot to ask. Go win all 6 of those. Go in the other 12 games. If you did that and you went 7-5, no, you'd have to go 7-4 in your other games. Go 7-4 and 6-0 in division. 13-4, you not only win the division, you may host the AFC Championship game. They could do that.
I love it. I love to hear Jim talk. He's got the voice.
Charlie, good luck with the book.
Sir.
I said good luck with your book.
Thank you.
That's one that people have to read. You want to find out about leadership.
Thank you very much.
And how to make difference in people's lives. Go read Charlie's new book.
That's The Journeyman. It'll be out soon.
Well,
Jim, it's always a treat to have you on ESPN Houston with Charlie. We appreciate your insight. Best of luck with the NFL season, and we'll see you back in Houston soon.
I hope so. All the best, guys. Always a pleasure.